this webinar. I am Sameh Jarur from Apify, and today we have Shira Simmons from SmartReach AI. She's the founder of SmartReach AI. So Shira has 14 years of experience with her own lead gen agency, and just the last year, she has pivoted a little, and now she created a standalone SaaS solution for other agencies and other RevOps teams across the world. So it's super exciting for me to kind of have this conversation with you, Shira, and talk about how you're using Apify on the back end to do all these cool lead generation and enrichment tasks. And I am looking forward to this conversation.
Me too. Samay, thank you so much. I'm so excited to do this together with you. I reached out to you guys because, like you said, over the last 14 years in running a lead gen agency, a lot of things that we were doing were so manual. And, first we started with databases using tools like Apollo and ZoomInfo and Hunter. And we realized, we really need deeper data enrichments. So many of our clients were coming to us asking us and having very specific criteria about who their ideal customer profile is, and they've spent a lot of time kind of figuring that out. And what they found is that sometimes they need to know how many website visitors the company has, or if they have funding, as an example. And many times the usual tools were not really giving us that information. And so we, did a lot of digging and testing over many years and found Apify, and are so happy with all the Apify actors and how we've enriched them. And I'm really happy to showcase that today.
Amazing. That's awesome. Thank you, Shira, for that intro. Yeah, and we're happy to partner with you. I think, a lot of the times, obviously, we have a large developer base, and we do get a lot of questions regarding, how do I actually use the Apify actors, how I can combine them to kind of, meet actual business cases. So I think, you have that kind of deep experience, which a lot of users from our side are actually looking for. And I'm also excited to kind of have a look at, what you guys built already. And, maybe you can take us through some of because obviously, with 14 years, you've probably seen a lot of scenarios, a lot of, questions that are asked, a lot of inputs and outputs. So it would be great, to take this opportunity and kind of dig deeper into those. Um,
For sure.
okay.
So let me go ahead and do this, Samay. What I'm going to do is actually share my screen and kind of walk through how we've done this. And I think the first step is that what we really wanted was to build one platform where users can log in and, with a few clicks, enrich their data, find buyer behavior signals, find valid data, and manipulate the data any which way without it being very complex. Okay, and so we've taken your actors, whereas previously we've been, logging in, building, running your actors one at a time. We built an interface that makes it really, really easy, that's built on a platform on high valid data. So I'll start by just sharing my screen and kind of show you how this platform works to make it easier for all Apify users as well.
That's great. Actually, we do get a lot of feedback from customers that sometimes, if they're not developers, or let's say, within that, they would need a UX UI that's simpler. And, I'm so happy we had a chance to look at this last week, and we're going to look at it now. I think, it's great. It kind of simplifies all the back end for, especially for those more, let's say, users who don't really have time to kind of figure things out.
Exactly, exactly. So what we've built is this interface called SmartReach AI, and it has three different modules. Okay, today I'm really going to focus on the smart data module, which is the module that enables us to build the lead list that we're looking for. If I have time, I'll go into Smart Mail as well. And Smart Mail is really the tool that enables us to hyper personalize every single email, and Smart Link is hyper personalizing every single LinkedIn. So we have three different modules. The first step in building your campaign is the data, right? So you first need to
Yeah.
discuss, okay, who am I targeting? So we have, by the way, this data is powered by RocketReach, and RocketReach has one of the most valid databases that is updated on a daily basis. Okay, so that was really, really important for us, was to have the best, most valid and accurate data, and vast data. It's not just US, it's all across the world, it's global. So for this use case, and we can just, first of all go to company. I can just quickly show you a few cool things that you can do on the company tab that already have some signals already built in here. So first, let's just pick a location. So let's say we want to go to the US. And for the purpose of this demo, I'm going to use retail as the industry, but you can go very, very deep in industry. Okay, even within
Wow.
retail, there's so many. You can exclude different industries as well. So you can include or exclude. You can type in your industry keyword. What I love here as well is the revenue. You can customize your revenue, but we have a lot of clients that are saying we only want to reach out to companies that have this and this revenue. Okay. And also we have a
Well, so
technology.
maybe from a revenue standpoint,
Mhm.
why I think, I hear it a lot sometimes, but why would it, let's say like if you're creating a target list, why would that be important for you?
Well, first of all, a lot of companies only want to target, first of all, it depends if they're targeting enterprise or if they're targeting SMBs. So, revenue and funding are two different signals to tell you that hopefully they have money and budget, okay, to
Okay.
purchase your product. And many times, like there are clients that are selling, enterprise level contracts that are at $1 million. They don't want to be targeting the smaller companies. They want to know they have at least 50 million in revenue so that they could sell to them. Okay, so that really helps build a very targeted list that
Yeah,
hits a revenue criteria for you. Another one
nice.
that's really, really cool that I love is department growth. Because let's say you're targeting, e-commerce or retailers, and you want to know that they're innovative and in growth mode, right? Because obviously then you could sell them your product or service. So it's really cool to look at department growth. So I could say, I only
Wow.
want to see the marketing department, okay, specifically for this use case, okay? And again, you can go any department for this use case when I'm selling a product or service to e-commerce or retail, okay? And I want to say that has had at least 25% to 50% growth, okay? And then I can apply
Wow.
my filters. So I'm doing revenue filters, I'm doing growth filters, and I'm doing retail. And this is really giving me a very, very robust list. Again, it's very narrowed down to 47 results. Okay. If I click view more, I can actually see a little bit more about the company. And you could see it has, their information, how many employees they have, when they were founded. You can get a lot of deeper information here as well. And if I were to, let's say, remove the revenue as an example, you'll see that the list is going to grow obviously tremendously. So the more that you, add filters, but there's not so many companies that have grown in retail, 50, 25 to 50%. So this could be a really great niche target audience for you if you're looking for that growth. So that's kind
That's
of the first step. Yeah.
that's so relevant. So like, for example, if you were targeting like let's say your target persona was the, marketing department, and then you know that okay, these guys are growing their department by this much. Because
Exactly.
especially I think, like new, let's say new people who come into the department, they're always going to be the most active or the easiest to sell to because they're trying, that first few months you're trying to roll out some projects, some quick
Well,
wins. So
yeah,
those
that's
kind of like,
actually, yeah, for sure, Samay. But that's actually another signal that I'll show you. But that's
yeah,
amazing. You're right on point. And sometimes it's better to have a smaller niche target audience that has grown, that are like if they're growing their marketing department, they are in growth mode, right? And so they're
yes.
going to be much more open to hearing what you have to help them also manage that growth. Okay. So that's just the people side. But now you can save that and you can upload that into your people side. Sorry, that was the company side. And then just going to your points, I'm going to show you now again. I'm going to go back to US. And I don't have to do this. I'm just doing it for the purpose of this demo to just retype it in. And then what's really neat on the occupation side, exactly you hit the nail on the head earlier, is I'm going to now say I want to have, high level decision makers, okay? But I also want to see those that have started their job in the last 3 months or the last 6 months, okay?
Wow.
So the fact this is another really, really good signal, okay? And you can basically see all of these, director plus levels that have started their jobs very recently, okay? Now you can do a lot of these things on Sales Navigator, on different tools. I think the value of what we've built here is to really help you do this all under one tool. Okay,
Yeah.
so you can see here with this, and I didn't type in marketing, but we can go deeper even into department or job title, okay? But we have really nice results over here, okay? So this is kind of the foundation. It goes even deeper. You can look for somebody based on skills that they have on their LinkedIn profile. So if you want somebody, let's just type in marketing as an example, and you want somebody that has specific marketing skills, it will tell you, and you can actually pick from this. I want people that have digital marketing skills, okay? And it'll pull it from their LinkedIn profile as well. Or I
Wow.
only want someone that has a certain number of years of experience, okay? And that as well you can look for. So you can go very, very deep in your list building just through this platform up until now, okay? And
That's Yeah,
yeah,
I was just gonna say, like, I remember because I was, I had some BDRs under me, and basically what you're doing here is, instead of the BDR, SDR spending, maybe days kind of building out this list, you've kind of built it out now in a few minutes, which is exactly, I think,
exactly.
what the whole purpose of, of these tools are, right? To kind of save you that time.
Exactly. No, for sure. And honestly, like being in this agency for 14 years, if I told you how many tools our
Yeah.
teams are using, and we were like, this is impossible. We really need to put this all on one tool, make it easy, make it fast, build these lists and each client had different criterias as well. So now what I'm going to do is kind of show you the next level, okay? The next level here, now that we have this retail list, we've built it that have started their job within the last few months, that they have skills in digital marketing. We have over 1,000 results here. Okay, so first of all, you can access their email, you
Yeah.
can access their mobile number, but there's something pretty cool that we built that I love. It's called the Smart Agent. And the
Uh-oh.
Smart Agent also
We're
allows
coming
you.
to the agent part.
Yes, yes. So
In
this is not yet using Apify, but I'm going to show you what is in a moment. This is basically scraping from their, actually this probably does use an Apify web scraper, okay?
Yeah.
Because we're scraping from their website and we're scraping from their LinkedIn profile. So we could say, for example, only show me companies that are B2B and not B2C, okay? So first of all, for retailers, if you're targeting e-commerce, you want the ones that say no, which means that they are B2C,
Yeah.
okay? And so now you could see all of these are B2C, and you could see how quickly you were able to get that data. Imagine how long it would take you to research each and every one of these.
Wow.
Are
And
you
you
B2B?
created this classification just by combining different kind of signals and scrape data
Exactly.
together.
And we've,
Wow.
over the last 14 years, like come up with the questions that a lot of clients have been asking us, and we, put them all together and created this. I love this one too because it's really important when you're targeting companies to list a pain that they're solving, and then you can also hyper personalize your messaging with it. So foot pain relief, okay, each one is a little bit different depending on, I'll do just another one really quickly, which is like a description for the company as well. And this is going to pull a little bit about what the company does. And each one is a little bit different and really can help you go deeper. Okay. And as you can see, what we've built is here. Some of them are not available. It could be that these retailers are too small. Okay. And we need
Yeah.
to build bigger ones. Okay. But the ones that are available are the bigger ones that we could pull that data from. Okay. And if it's
I,
not
I
available,
really I really love what you did there. You basically took your like you kind of triangulated your 14 years of experience, all the questions that you heard over these years, and you're kind of triangulating it with like, scraped data and insights.
Exactly. And what you can do is then once you've, accessed the email, hold on, I'll access one where I have um, information, okay? Once I access the email, I could save the list, I can export the list, and I get all of this data. We also have as well built into it a system that automatically validates the email. So as I mentioned to you earlier, the validation aspect is so important. And we have
Yeah.
so many users come to us and say that they're using Apollo and other sources, which by the way, Apollo just got banned on LinkedIn, which
Yeah.
is, breaking news. And apparently there's a lot of stuff going on there. And what I loved about Rocket Reach is that they are updating their data every day, okay? And they're really, really top notch when it comes to validity. But in addition, we also integrated with Million Verifier, which again, over 14 years, we've been testing every verifier under the planet. Look how fast that was, okay? It automatically sends it to
Nice.
Million Verifier. And we're actually about to integrate now if there's a catch-all. Let me see if I can find a catch-all for you. If you're familiar with a catch-all
Yeah.
email, yeah, it means that you really shouldn't be emailing them. Okay, thank God these are both valid. But if there was a catch-all email, we're gonna have when you click verify email, it will connect to instantly and verify that catch-all. And about 30% of catch-alls are, you can verify. Okay, you can
Yeah, I
validate.
actually know about catch-all because I accidentally, sent a large campaign and I didn't
Uh,
validate, and I got, this was a while ago, so I got actually my email was banned for a while. So,
Yes, and
so
that's
this is
huge for sure. It's a
so
huge no-no. So yeah,
yeah,
having valid emails is so important because first of all, after you warm up your domains, you always should be warming up your domains. And then after you warm them up and you have a good reputation with the providers, and then you just send out to ones that are going to bounce, it's going to drastically affect your domain health, and all of your emails are going to end up going to spam. So the validity is so, so important. And I'd rather have the system come back and tell me, like, I'm curious because this has no, if it's not valid. And with our system, if it's not valid, then it doesn't cost you a token, okay? Because there's no valid. But thank God these are all valid, which is amazing. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is show you where the Apify comes in and how we've built all these different signals. So in addition to Smart Agents, which has a lot of questions that you could build, okay, we also have a lot of Apify actors. So
nice.
let's say, for example, and we've had clients, and I'm going to, give different scenarios as well. But let's say, for example, you are targeting, retail and e-commerce. And in order for, we have a client, for example, that offers like a really cool technology that organizes the product categories, okay, and products based on different categories. And in order for it to work for them, they need to know that the site, the e-commerce site, has a certain number of website visits. Okay. And if they don't have those website visits, they don't want us to target them. Okay. So all you would do is you would select the ones that you want to check. You would click on applying your smart signal. Now, this is using Apify. This is connected to Apify, and you click continue and it will run. And I'll just show you over here because I built it over before. It'll list all the website visits.
Wow.
Okay, and you could sort by website visits, so then we know that these three are good ones for us. Okay, so that's just a really good use case, and there's a lot of reasons why companies would want to use website visits, but it's a really good indication of now in this day and time what are, and this is connecting through Apify to SimilarWeb.
Wow, that's great.
Okay. Yeah.
And was that kind of, I mean, you fetched that data on the go now? It
I
made
fetched
the
it before. I fetched it before the demo, but I could do it. It just takes, it depends how many I do. But yeah, I can show you, for example,
wow.
let me do one that has a little bit more data, headphones.com. So I'll go website visits and it'll pull it from Apify and you'll see that it's running and it'll add a column website visits. So each one that we add, okay, here right away, website visits, here you go. Okay.
Wow, that was fast.
Yeah. Not all of them are so fast, and we're working with you guys on that, but yes, absolutely.
And by the way, this was just random, right? I mean, that speed,
Totally
really
random.
good.
Yes, yeah.
Amazing.
And so I'll show you, these are really cool. They're not Apify. Let me focus on Apify and then I'll come back to the other one. So another one is technology, okay?
Yeah.
So let's just say, and I'll do two of them, okay? This is using built with. We have the technology filter earlier, but let's just say I want to know that they're using Stripe. Now, again, this is a really good signal, for example, because in order for a lot of our clients, and here you could see it's running, in order for a lot of our clients to, work with specific brands, they need to know that they're using Stripe.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we could see neither of them are using Stripe because it already came back with nothing. Okay. That means that they're not using Stripe. It would show Stripe. Okay. So let me just show you another example on
Yeah, I
technology.
I actually love technographics. I've tried to,
Yes.
target different customers based on like what parallel technologies that they might be using. And I'm sure that, you have a lot more experience than me, and I'm actually super curious to know about, what other kind of use cases for technographics
Yeah, I
there
mean, there's
are.
so many. There's so many. So, we have certain clients that are like, we can only work with companies that are using HubSpot, okay? Or,
Right.
specific CRMs. We can
Because they have
only
a
work.
plugin or something that,
Yeah, exactly. They have a plugin or they have a solution. We really want to find companies. We have a bunch of them that are looking for like NetSuite. They need to know that they're using this technology in order for their solution to work for them. Okay. So it's all about really understanding what is for us, for example. It's really great for us to see if companies are using a CRM tool, okay? Because if they're using a CRM, it's a good indication for a lead gen agency that they're, building a list, managing a list, right? So it really does
ah,
depend on the clients. There's so many different technologies that each of our clients have. Another one, for example, we have a design agency as a client, and they only want to target people that are using or companies that are using WordPress. Or actually the opposite, we have others that are saying, e-commerce that are saying we can only work with companies that use Shopify, right?
right,
So there's
right.
so many use cases here for technology, and I love it. It's really great. And as you can see, each time it adds a new column. And then if I
And
head over here, yes, sorry, go ahead.
that's using the built with scraper
Mhm.
from Apify.
That's using the built
Nice.
with Apify scraper, yeah. And this is using the YouTube Apify scraper, okay? This is
Yeah.
also cool. This one, I find these two take a little bit longer, so I've ran the results for you guys already just to show you. Hold on one moment. Yeah. So I did a few. So I did YouTube. What's really neat with what we built here is you can actually click on the video, the YouTube channel. It takes you straight to the YouTube channel. Okay.
Wow.
So you could actually add YouTube and it takes you right straight to each one of the channels, which is super. Yeah,
Yeah.
I really, really love that one. And that, for example, just some use cases on YouTube channels. We have a few clients that offer content solutions, okay? And they're targeting content creators. And they want to know that they have a YouTube channel because otherwise it doesn't work for them. Or we have clients that are offering podcast solutions,
Yep.
want to know that they have a YouTube channel. Okay, so this is a really great indicator that like enriches the data even more. Now you know, for example, that they've grown in their marketing department. You know that they have started a job, so they're hungry. And you know that they're using YouTube and you could really target them, or they have a specific
Yeah.
technology. Just think about how many you can add, and you could do one at a time, you can add several together. And every time you're adding, you're kind of narrowing down your list a little bit more to ones that are super, super hyper targeted for you.
Nice. Actually, the YouTube is a great example because I've seen it a lot being used. I'm sure you're going to talk about it in the second part of the webinar, but for customization and, as you
Yes,
said, the hyper personalization, because,
exactly.
referencing back to some kind of YouTube video that the person might have published, especially the one that's popular, uh, creates that kind of rapport and, really kind of the hyper customized sequence that you need.
Absolutely. And with this data, when you download this data, it will show you how many subscribers they have, right? And if you want to click and go deeper, you can go deeper. So right away, you can pull in and say, hey, I see that you have this amazing channel with over 38,000 subscribers. Like, that's amazing because what does that do? That shows that I actually did my research, that I
Exactly.
spent time looking at you, understanding who you are. Like, oh, you only have 434. This could be an opportunity for me to say, we can help you get more subscribers, right?
Yeah.
So
But
either which,
you're cheating a bit because you used SmartReach.
exactly, but they don't need to know that.
Yeah, of course.
We have so many users that say, wow, you really did your research on me. Like, I really appreciate that. I get so many emails and LinkedIn messages a day. I really appreciate that you really did your research and that your offer is so relevant to me. They
Of
appreciate that,
course.
and it definitely breaks through the clutter of your inbox when you have so many messages. Okay, so let's go quickly to the next one, which is Instagram followers. So this also, we have a few clients that are offering social solutions, okay? And they're like, listen, we can't help brands unless they have a certain number of Instagram followers, okay? Also, we have clients that are like the design agencies as well that are saying, we want to help build their Instagram ads, right? So we want
Yeah.
to know if they have a big Instagram following, are they active on Instagram? So again, I ran that earlier and I'll just quickly show you. So let me close this one. So here you could see the Instagram followers. So again, these ones don't have any, but same thing as earlier. Now I can actually click and it'll take me to their Instagram page. Okay, so you can dive deeper into each one and you could sort by high low and you could really see how many followers they have. And that's a really good indication many times to know that either they don't have a lot of followers. So, for example, like an SEO company might be using this to say, well, they don't have a lot of followers, so I can really help them. Or a
Yes.
social media company might say, these guys haven't really built their Instagram brand, let me see how we can help them. I see you really don't have a lot of followers, or I see you have 3,500. I'd love to help you get to 1 million. you know
Wow.
what we could
So
do.
that's actually great. So like, you can say, okay, you might be active already on LinkedIn, right? You have followers, but on Instagram you're weak. That I think
Yeah.
that kind of like delta really would appeal to the
Yeah, and also combining like the website visits. Like, for example, I could see that this one has like a very nice, healthy number of website visits, but not a lot of Instagram followers, right?
yeah.
So they're focusing on their web traffic, but they're not really focusing on their Instagram followers. And this could be an opportunity for me to sweep in and help them if I was offering that solution,
Wow. That's
right?
great.
Yeah. And then the next one that we have is job hiring. This is one of my favorite signals. So I ran it earlier for sales. Sorry, I keep going back to the wrong one. Okay, so for sales, and I said, show me any company that is hiring a sales position. And so what it's doing, and when you click on this, I'll just quickly show you. It asks you what country, what the
Yeah.
position is, if you have the Indeed URL, if you don't need it, and how many jobs you'd like to see. Okay? So I already ran it and I said, show me sales. So it's showing me that these companies are not hiring sales, but these two are. And if I click on it, I could see exactly what the job is, what their reviews are, their logo, what they're offering an hour. And this could also be a good use case for anyone that's looking for
Wow.
a job as well, because you can apply straight from here or you can view it on Instagram. It'll take, sorry, on Indeed, it'll take you to the Indeed page. Okay. So this is just logging into Indeed, as you could see, and it's bringing me to this page, to the Magnolia
Wow.
page, and I could see everything now on this page.
So you're using the app Indeed the scraper in the back end?
Correct.
Wow, nice. That's a great
Okay.
use case.
Yeah. And for us, so I'll give you some really good use cases where we're using this. So we have a client that's an outsourced software developer, and they want to find companies that are hiring engineers. And they've
Yeah.
posted on Indeed to hire engineers. So most of the calls that we book for them are saying, listen, we have great engineers. We see that you're hiring this title on Indeed. We'd love to talk to you about our engineers and how they fit the bill, or we'd love to send you their CV, and it works really well. For us as an agency, we use the hiring signal for if companies are hiring SDRs or they're hiring salespeople, like you can use our tool to help your SDRs build their list,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the use cases are so many with hiring. It's one of the best signals I found. And then lastly, I'll show you there's quickly a few more, but funding is using Crunchbase. So that pulls in their funding, okay, if they've recently had funding, and it also will click through to the Crunchbase page as well, okay? And I'll jump to Google Ads Insights and then I'll show you Google Maps. What we've decided to do with the Google Ads Insight, here, let me just close these puppies. With the Google Ads Insight is actually, let me close this, is, sorry, one moment. It's show you actually how many ads they're actually running, okay? This is we're using from
Yeah.
the Indeed Google Ad Scraper, because what is this signal for me? If they're running more than 10 ads, that means to me that they're very active. So we use this signal, for example, for our design agency that can help you design ads knowing that you're already running. We also use it for SEO clients. So if you're an
Yeah.
SEO company and you want to know that people are spending money on ads, so this is a great signal to combine with website visits as well. So for
Yeah,
example,
or even
right?
performance optimization or
Exactly, exactly.
automation of yeah, I mean there's a lot of kind of SaaS solutions that,
Yeah.
looking for big spenders on ads. I think it's great concept to use.
Yeah. And imagine like what is this telling me? Like they're running 26 ads, but they only have 557 visitors. So my SEO services could really help them because they're spending money on ads, but it's not really driving them traffic, right? So
There's no
there's all of
ROI.
these
Yeah.
yeah, there's all these different indicators that you can use. And also just a lot of our clients want to know just this on in and of itself. Like, are they running ads? Are they running ads? Because if they are, it means that they're spending money on marketing and advertising, and then I can sell my solution to them, you know? So just this as a standalone is also a great signal. And then lastly, I'll quickly show you Google Maps. So Google Maps is in development right now, but I just wanted to show you how it works. So if you click on Google Maps, you could say, okay, I would like New York, let's just say, and I would like, I don't know, I think I ran this before for like eye clinics. Okay, so let's say I'm targeting, I have a solution for contact lenses, and I'd like to target um, eye clinics to sell them my contact lenses, right? So typically, I wouldn't be able to use a database like an Apollo or a Rocket Reach because it's not showing me individual locations. If I wanted to find, doctor's offices, or if I wanted to find a pub or cafes or restaurants or more local listings, we use the Google Maps filter for that. Okay. And I just ran it before, so I'll quickly show you what we have now, and we're building on this now. So this is showing me all the different, in New York, I said, I think give me 10. And what's really neat about this is a lot of their emails are not available, only a few, okay? But all of them have local numbers, and most of them have websites or social media. So we're pulling those as well. So you can go directly to their website, you can go to their social media, you'll be able to, select these, save it, download it, and, either run a cold call campaign, or go to their social media and contact them. Or if they have emails, then you can contact them by email as well.
Yeah, actually, because I am also responsible for Google Maps here at Apify, maybe I can mention a few interesting use cases
Sure,
that
I would
people
love
use us
that.
for. Yeah, so
Absolutely.
the thing about Google Maps is because there is kind of this validation level that Google does on, when you try to list your place. So we found that in a lot of times the phone numbers and emails that you get from there, especially on a business level, are super valid. And I see a lot of companies also using the reviews on Google Maps
Yes.
because in many ways, the Google Map reviews are more valid than others because there is that kind of, extra validation layer. It's hard to automate. So, especially let's say if you are considering a company to buy, you would look at kind of the reviews of the different locations. People use it a lot also for, data mining for,
Yeah.
either
Yeah.
negative reviews or positive
Right.
reviews. So there's
Right.
a lot of
For
use
sure.
cases
For
for
sure.
maps.
I love that. It's actually interesting that you say that because I was just having I had a meeting with my team earlier, and we were talking about, okay, what, because with each integration that we do, Apify gives
Yeah.
so much information, like a ton. And we have to decide, okay, what is useful for our users. And actually reviews was something that my team was like, we need to put reviews So we're actually going to be adding that in the next few days. So spot on.
Nice.
If there's anything else that you feel we could be adding, that's great. We didn't want to overpopulate the system to have so much data that it's not
Yep.
useful, right? But at the same time, we wanted to be able to use it for many, many different use cases. And I'll just quickly share one more. We're going to be adding, first of all, Facebook ads soon, which is also being pulled from you guys. But we have something really neat called company followers and people followers, and this is from LinkedIn. This is using another
Nice.
tool that pulls this. It's the only one that's not via API. And basically, if you have a competitor and you want to see who's following them on LinkedIn, or let's say, as we were saying earlier, that you can only offer your solution to HubSpot users. So you want to find everyone who's following HubSpot. Or you want to find an influencer who's really talking to your audience and you want to see who's following that influencer. So this is another really great signal that we have that I love. And I'll just also share that we're going to be adding Ocean's lookalikes as well very soon, which is if you have existing clients or customers and you want to find other companies that look like them, right? That's another really good
Ocean.io,
signal.
yeah?
Yes,
Ocean.io.
Ocean
Yeah.
scenario.
Yeah,
And
I
another,
love that. I love Ocean. I've used it in
yes,
the past. It's a great
yes.
solution.
It's so, yeah, the goal here also comments and engagements, if anyone's commented it on posts, if anyone's posted about a specific keyword. So my goal with this is to pull everything into one platform so that you can really click, find everything that you need. I'll just go back to this example over here where we have on one sheet, on one screen, website visits, technology, hiring, YouTube. I mean, the world is your oyster here, and we're constantly adding, more and more signals so that they could be used in many, many different ways.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, and
Okay.
obviously
So
we're always looking at Apify. I think I just saw, I'm looking at adding on Apify now Facebook followers and Reddit. So Reddit could be
yeah,
a really great signal as well. So we're just working into the use case of how it would work for Reddit. So we have so many in the pipe. And there, if we love working with Apify, and it's so easy for us to, now that we've built the framework and the infrastructure, to keep adding more actors.
that's great.
Yeah.
But maybe one question. Okay, so you have this data. So what do you do with it now? Like
Okay.
how maybe you
So
can
real,
take
yeah,
us through
yes.
a
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. So real quick, what we have is we've built our messaging as well. Okay, it's called Smart Mail and Smart Link. So now let's say you've saved this data. Okay, you can do two things. One is you can export the data and use it any way you want. Okay, plug it into your own platform. But if you want to use SmartReach even further, you can then save the data and you can start a Smart Mail campaign. Okay, and when you start a smart mail campaign, I'll kind of just quickly walk you through how that works and how it hyper personalizes and what are all the options. So I like to actually take a template that we already have. Once you can save as many templates as you want. You define your sequence name, the sender's name, your language, okay? And here, this is really cool. You can actually put your own messaging that, let's say you've already tested your own messaging, you've written hyper personalized messaging, you love it, and you want us just to go a step further by looking at everyone's LinkedIn profile and hyper personalizing that message yourself. You can add as many steps as you want in a sequence, okay?
yeah.
But another option is actually using our prompts. And here you can type in, this is about SSC Digital, so you can see our description, the pain points of like who it is that we're targeting and what are their specific pain points, our strategic advantages. And here you can add in your signal, okay? So it either will pull it for you or you can say, hiring, let's say I want to focus on hiring sales manager, okay? Let's just say that that's the signal, okay? Then I can upload my list and I'll just pull a list that I have saved. We did a HubSpot Israel list. It's going to be a small list, but just for the purpose of showing you, it'll pull all the people that I've already saved from Smart Data, okay? And this is where it gets really neat. So I could say, okay, I'd like to generate 3 emails in this sequence. I want to book a call, okay? I want to focus on these personalization. I'm not interested in talking about their school. I'm not interested in talking about their languages. Don't hyper personalize it with that information. And click continue, and it will hyper personalize all the emails for you, okay?
Wow.
So let's just say for these 3 now, okay, so I can actually do a few things. I can automatically send it to we're integrated with Smart Lead, with HubSpot, with reply.io and with HeyReach on the LinkedIn side, and we're adding more and more all the time. But let's say I'm a little picky, you know, and I don't want the system to just run. I really want to be able to edit, okay? So I can actually click on it and edit each one, okay? And the more I edit it, the more it teaches the system how I like to write,
So
okay?
there's a feedback loop.
There is a feedback loop. There's two feedback loops. One is with your editing, okay? And here you can just see I edited, I said make each paragraph 50% shorter, okay? And this was the result of that, okay? But I'll show you where I did that. So one is editing, and one is, hold on one second, let me go back to the Smart Mail. We have another really cool feature that we recently added based on our user feedback, and that is actually give it a prompt.
Yeah.
So I want to say, make it 50% shorter. Don't use this word, you know, whatever it is. And then the next batch that you run will take that feedback into account. So you can really manipulate the messaging to get it to the level that you want. Okay. And we have the same thing for email and for LinkedIn.
And that maybe those instructions and prompts, they're kind of cached inside your account. That's
Exactly.
great.
There's,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
And
think that's
they're
yeah.
cached in for each of your campaigns. So we actually have different campaigns running. You may want to give different prompts for different campaigns.
Wow, that's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's one of the kind of let's say struggles I have sometimes. Obviously, I try to use some ragged LLMs, but there's always kind of that challenge where it doesn't commit to memory, and then you have to kind of like re-instruct it or re-prompt
And
it.
yeah, so that was a big thing that we worked on is also A, to learn your writing style the more you edit it, and B, to be able to just say, you know what, I'm not going through each one. I want to just give you one direct prompt, and you play around with it as much as you can in order to get it to where you want it to be.
It's great,
Yeah, yeah.
amazing.
Okay, amazing. So now I am going to see if anyone here has any questions. I can't really see the live side. If not, let me ask Samay if you have any other questions on your end.
No, I think that has been perfect. I guess the question is, are you in full mode right now, or is it still in kind of final beta, or when do you expect to kind of, I mean, obviously with software, you're always, or especially
We're
with
always,
SaaS.
I mean, it's like a never
Yeah,
ending, it's a never ending saga. Absolutely. But now it's definitely, everything I showed you is usable now.
great,
Yeah,
amazing,
actually, we have an offer for Apify users if they'd like to get
nice.
another 50 tokens, which is Apify 2025. And if you use that coupon code, you'll get another 50 tokens.
Great. I will send this also to the follow-up after this for sure. And we have an offer also for everybody who
Okay,
attended the
great.
webinar, 25% off. So I'll send those right after.
Okay, amazing. Wonderful. So, Samay, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and looking forward to only growing our partnership further and further.
Looking forward to it. It was a real pleasure, Shira, to kind of chat and kind of, gain from that 14 years of experience that you have. And let's continue building together.
Yes, thank you so much. Okay, bye, everyone.
Bye.